When trying to understand the world of Bleach, souls are a vital yet challenging concept to form an accurate understanding of. The translation of Bleach from Japanese to English makes this nearly impossible due to several different terms being mistranslated. Unfortunately, this even applies to the official versions of the source material. I aim to clarify this topic for fellow English-speaking fans by explaining how souls work, before discussing more complicated things within the Bleach universe. I'll usually use the Japanese version of the source material, which can be read using the camera function of free translator mobile applications. Still, I may use the English version for simplicity if there is little to no discrepancy. The first kind of soul is the physical soul, which is usually the reitai, spirit body of a spiritual object, and is formed of reishi, spirit particles. All souls can, and often do, contain other souls, but the soul that contains them all is always this kind, as it maintains the boundary between the spiritual object and the external world. For a rei, spirit as in spiritual being, this soul is called konpaku, corporeal soul. Soul suicide occurs when the konpaku of a rei can no longer maintain the boundary between itself and the external world. The second kind of soul is the abstract soul, which is also formed of reishi but is typically not a spiritual object, hence it is usually contained within objects. This soul is called tamashi, ethereal soul, and can possess power that is the raryoku, spirit power of the rei. In early Bleach, tamashi is sometimes used interchangeably with rei and konpaku, but the distinction is made clear as the series progresses. It is the tamashi that possesses power. Raryoku comes from the tamashi. The raryoku within tamashi can be released, and the pressure exerted when this happens is called reiatsu, spirit pressure. Reiatsu and released raryoku are very often used interchangeably, the latter of which can be detected through reikaku, spirit sense. A rei was placed inside the tamashi of a parakeet, hence the tamashi of the rei was obscured by that of the parakeet, making its power more difficult to detect through reikaku. Kokoro, heart, is connected to tamashi and is essential when it comes to understanding hollows and how different rei access their powers. Kokoro and tamashi are different but connected. The realms of Soul Society and Hueco-Mundo, Hollow Sphere, are constructed entirely of reishi, therefore, only spiritual objects can enter these realms. However, the living world, present world, is made of both kishi, container, and reishi, partly because all kishi objects contain tamashi. All things in the living world have tamashi. An inanimate kishi object may be configured differently from a kishi being in that tamashi could be contained directly within. Still, kishi beings contain a konpaku, which they are attached to through a chain of fate, and it is this konpaku that contains their tamashi. This kind of konpaku is called a plus, to be adjusted, and is a human konpaku. The konpaku of an ordinary human is a plus. Tamashi can also be thought of as the inner part of the konpaku. Most kishi beings do not possess much rei-ryoku, and therefore much reiatsu. This is why they have low spirituality and cannot see rei. However, a kishi being with sufficient reiatsu can see rei. Tatsuki resisted having her tamashi removed by Yami because her konpaku contained power. A plus can possess and release raryoku. Tatsuki, Mizuhiro, and Keigo are ordinary humans with high spirituality. When a kishi being dies, it becomes unattached to its kishi body and becomes strictly a konpaku. This triggers encroachment, erosion for a plus, which is the erosion of the chain of fate and is a process that ultimately ends in the plus becoming a hollow. If Konso, soul funeral, is performed on a plus before it completes encroachment, then it will be sent to the Soul Society as a regular konpaku. The reitai of the citizens of the Soul Society are regular konpaku. Based on Ichigo's process of regaining his raryoku beneath Urahara's shop, the raryoku of an ordinary human with high spirituality is the latent power of a shinigami, death god. Therefore, if the tamashi has the potential to possess raryoku, or already possessed enough as a plus, then a regular konpaku can become a shinigami should it choose. Next, Bleach souls explain too, shinigami and zanpakuto,